What's that? That's literally Monsters Inc.
Yeah. Oh wait, no.
Wait, what were you
I was
thinking
going for
of?
the iCarly intro.
Yeah, Carl was the easiest. Although I didn't start at 5.
That was a layup,
did
Josh.
start
at
A
five.
layup. All right, well, that's the cold open. So.
Yeah. Put the. All right, everybody. Welcome to season 2. A couple kind of announcements about season 2 going ahead. First off, I, Kojima, and Reese McTeague are not co-hosts anymore. They may pop on an episode in the future. But we kind of got to record with a lot of different people as co-hosts in this season. The vast majority of them are with Aaron Henderson as co-host. He's great. He's a great friend and he's really funny. So we loved having him on a ton of these episodes. But we also got to record with a couple other friends and kind of talk about different movies. And I got to kind of pick their brains a little bit. And that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's not, Reese and I are all great friends still. I'm actually crashing at Reese's place right now for a couple months. I think we wanted to kind of try something with different people. And speaking of which, the film history kind of format, we haven't been trying as much going forward. We're trying kind of new formats for season 2. Film history is still something that's very interesting to me, and it definitely does pop up in the different episodes that we're doing. But kind of the format of someone doing research and then presenting it to the group as kind of like a speech almost, we haven't really been exploring that one as much recently. But I am very excited about the formats we have chosen. And again, the film history is going to creep in there because I'm interested in it. I'm very, very excited about this kind of iteration of the podcast. The episodes we've recorded so far are like, I'm really proud of them and I really can't wait for you guys to hear them. Without further ado, here's season 2. Welcome to the show.
Cold open.
Yeah, that's a cold open. Welcome to the show. My name is Josh Nascimento. This is my friend Eron. Welcome back.
Hello.
Yeah, we're acting like we recorded this on different days, but in reality, it's been about 20 minutes.
I've spent most of my day with you.
Wait, actually,
I'm about ready to go home. So
you said let's get this out of the way.
Let's just let's keep this rolling. Eh?
Yeah.
Huh, Michael? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
What are we doing here today?
What are we doing today? Like we didn't just anyway.
Staged. Terribly staged.
Yeah, we didn't even change shirts. Like we're just like this is the same day.
What's worse is I think the first episode that I was on, I think I may have worn this shirt.
Mm-hmm. No, I actually have very vivid memories.
Roll that clip, Michael.
Yeah.
Roll that clip if it's there.
It's a different hat, I think.
Shirt.
At a very
I think
least,
it is.
it's
It was a different hat. But I think it might be the same shirt.
No, I have very vivid memories of the shirt you wore because I edited it about 1,000 times in the clip.
They're like, yeah, it's definitely the same. Yeah, what are we doing here, though?
Yeah, actually.
What is actually happening?
Yeah. So I thought we could talk about our most quotable movies, like the movies that we personally love that we feel like we could quote just so much. It's not necessarily the best.
Yeah, not the most quotable movies in all caps, because I mean that's a fairly subjective list, but there's kind of just like cinematic staples in there, I guess. But I think
like Harry Potter, we're not going to really talk about, I don't think, or like maybe some Star Wars.
Yeah,
but
I mean, like if you end up quoting Harry Potter a lot, which there are some times that I do, I feel like, but I think one of the through lines throughout our forms of communication between the two of us is like it's a lot of just like quoting lines from movies.
Yeah.
And many of them movies that people have not actually seen.
Yes.
But when you do meet that one person who has seen the movie that you have seen and you're quoting the obscure line from it.
Yeah.
What a glorious moment of connection that is.
Dude, well, first of all, I've experienced that in the opposite almost, like where like I like watched SpongeBob when I was like really, really young. And so I don't remember anything from it. And I haven't like really watched it much as an adult. And so like everyone will just quote SpongeBob and I'll just be sitting there like,
it's tough to watch.
I
was going to quote SpongeBob to you, but
I feel alone. And so like I literally like one time I just had like my friends
Gang's all here.
See, I wouldn't even know that.
Then you'll know.
So I literally like I didn't even like it was a time when like I was with like PJ and the other guys.
Yeah.
And like they were just quoting SpongeBob. And I just didn't. I was like, guys, can we just like, so we literally put on like a YouTube video that was just like all the quotable lines from SpongeBob just so I could get what they were saying.
Oh, that's kind of cute though.
And shut up.
They're like, well, we don't want him to feel left out.
Yeah.
So here's some homework. Watch this so you can hang with us, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that there are definitely times like that where someone might be quoting something in particular, and I'm like, oh, that. And it's what's hard is like you'll laugh at it just because of the context of what it's being said, but then like that's not the same reason why they're laughing at it. It's because like, oh no, like this line from this movie has been deeply formative or whatever.
Yeah.
And so what's worse is when you're like having a good time and you're like, that is funny, and then they go, oh, do you know what that's from? And then you're like, you've ruined everything.
Yeah.
We were having a great time.
I was genuinely enjoying myself.
Right.
Now,
like this was fine. And it didn't need to be weird. But now you're like, oh, but like, you don't know what that's from, do you? And I'm just like, yeah, it's the condescending phrasing. Oh, you don't know what that's from, do you?
Yeah.
First of all, how dare you? Okay.
I know everything from everything.
I've seen almost every single A24 movie in the year 2022. So
Can you quote those? No.
Didn't think so. What's your favorite movie? Mine's Francis Ha, okay?
Which is funny because like I feel like sometimes like having like that obscure of a movie as like one of my favorites is like I feel like it would make you like cool, but then like I feel like I just name it and people have no idea what I'm talking about.
Too obscure.
It's just confusing. Yeah, if I said like Seven Samurai or something, they'd be like, "Oh, hipster. Okay, that's kind of cool."
Right, yeah.
But they're just like, "What? Is that a movie title?" I don't.
They're like, "No, I've literally never heard of that movie before."
But that's technically more hipster to have the more obscure.
True.
Unknown.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't feel cool. I'm just like,
It's like, oh no, it's actually a black and white Italian silent film from 1945,
and it's my favorite.
And it's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
let's actually get to these.
What are some of your favorite quotable lines from your? Well, what lines do you quote the most from some of your favorite movies?
I was just gonna start with The Incredibles. It's freaking
peak.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
I literally I have like a very distinct like memory of like, so I was living with my friends Daniel and Naveen, and like there was a moment where like we would quote The Incredibles to each other all the time, and there was a specific instance where we literally did nothing else but just quote it back to each other for like 20 minutes straight, like no actual words.
You just did a table read of The Incredibles. You're like, this is what our friendship is. Like,
yeah, just quoting this movie. Yeah, it got to a point where like Monica.
Yeah,
she was like, just watch the movie. I don't.
She's like, all right, we're done here.
Yeah,
like,
stop.
I like Incredibles just as much as the next guy, but
there's a limit.
This is making me uncomfortable at this point, which is fair. Yeah. Sometimes it does go like a little too far, but that is a really good one.
Yeah,
I think like there's like a really underrated line in that movie that I feel like, because like Edna's character obviously has like a lot of really great lines,
iconic. Yeah.
But there's, I think it's because it's like whenever I think of quotes, sometimes I think of them like in a meme format. So I'm thinking of the image that like
top
is
text,
also
bottom
play.
text.
Yeah, literally. You know what I'm talking about?
Impact font.
or like the picture and then like the text of the tweet that somebody like is pairing with it, like on the side or whatever.
Twitter.
Yeah. So like I'll think of that like in my head, which I don't know. There's probably an issue in and of itself, but it's the line where like so Bob's character strolls up when he's first trying to get like the new suit, or when he's trying to get a suit repaired.
Yeah.
And so then it's like Edna's face on like the camera, and then she's like, "Who are you?" And then he like drops his sunglasses.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "My God, you've gotten fat." She's like, come. A little tiny, like, lives in my head rent free. Yeah. Like, I know. But there's, like, only certain scenarios in which you could just, like, whip that one out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because then people are like, wait, what?
Well, okay.
Right. But, like, if you do it and someone's, like, knows what it's from, dude, best feeling in the world. But, like, sometimes there are times where things will happen and it's, like, not even contextually accurate, but, like, it kind of fits. And in my head, because I'm like not brave enough to say it out loud, but in my head it'll just be like, "My God, you've got that." That's like out of all the lines of the movie, for whatever reason, that's like one of my favorite lines from that movie.
Yeah,
but that's definitely one of mine.
There's freaking so many good ones. I'm trying to think of like what my favorite is, but like I think like for whatever reason the first one that comes to mind is like babies love Mozart. Like my name's Kari.
Oh yeah.
That whole character is just incredible.
And then the little special that they had like back when they had like the bonus features.
Jack Attack.
Yeah, the Jack Attack.
Yes, dude.
Dude, peak, man.
Yeah.
So good.
Miss bonus discs.
Yeah.
Michael, do you have a favorite line from The Incredibles?
Dang, don't put me on the spot like that.
I wasn't ready. You didn't have notes.
No. You were quoting more before the episode. Now I'm trying to remember what those were.
Yeah.
What's my favorite one?
What's is it the Incredibles like dodging every obstacle? They're experts. That is, it's Incredibles.
Oh, is
experts, Bob. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the boss. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
The office guy. The one that my mom will literally quote all the time. Will like it's the little kid in the driveway that's just like always there on the trike, and it's all like, what are you waiting for? I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
And then my favorite part is he's like, me too, kid.
Yeah. I'm like, wow. Intentional.
Relatable.
Or, dude, like, forgot the best one. The one that Mikkel always like, don't Bernie me. Like every single time he always says that.
Incredible. Bernie, don't Bernie me.
Coincidence?
Yeah.
I think that.
You can see it on his smug little face. Incredible.
God,
dude.
what a movie.
Oh, dude.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's why I was like, because I think we were talking about, anyway, I was going to talk about The Incredibles too. I feel like, but let's move on.
Not as quotable.
No, unfortunately.
No, India Golf 999. Disengage, repeat, disengage. There are children aboard. Abort.
No, that'll take me downtown.
Told you to get off attraction. Just dumb parts.
Yeah,
of the
just
movie.
little stuff.
It just feels good. What a good movie.
Yeah.
All right, next
Anyway.
one. So we've got The Incredibles. That one's really solid. We can stick with the Pixar theme. Monsters, Inc. I feel like this is a fairly quotable movie.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite one?
Oh my gosh. I think it's got to be Mike Wazowski. Just
Mike
Wazowski. Or just like when she can't say it right, she's like, Kowski.
There's like, and this is really dumb, but like, there's this one that Melissa and I will say all the time. And it's like, so the scene is where they're hiding in the restroom while like Randall's looking for all of them and they're overhearing the conversation.
Yeah.
And then like Mike's foot slips in the toilet.
Yeah.
And then she just goes, ew. So like, it's so good. Stuff will happen around the house where she's something that's gross, and it'll just be like, ew.
Yeah.
But like knowing it's that ew. That's where the ew is
very
from.
specific.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm trying to think of, I can't think of specific lines, but it's like the delivery. It's not even the line itself. It's
Right,
the delivery that I just think about all the time.
Yeah, like yeah, and I think like Billy Crystal just does a good job like creating a character with a voice and stuff like that. Where like even when they first get Boo in the apartment and then they're trying to like disinfect everything, and so then like she sneezes on his eye, and so he screams, but then like sprays the disinfectant in his eye, like
Dude, I just remembered I think maybe my favorite quote, and I don't know because there's so many good ones, but the bit where he's like trying to get Fungus to like let him out, and he's like, I got a car, and if you let me out, I'll give you a ride in the car. It's just like the cheapest thing ever.
Yeah. Like not the car, but like I'll give you a ride in that.
But
car.
to like die, and he's just like, yeah.
The other one that like is, it's like a little bit more of a deep cut, but one that like
I'll probably know it.
In the right situation, it feels really good to actually pull it off.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you hear that? It's the winds of change. And like when you can place that meme in the right context, like that's like, it feels really good.
It's like when the little hand points down, the scare floor will be painted.
Empty.
It'll be empty. Oh my gosh.
Big points up, and the little hand points up. Yeah, honestly, like, it's funny because I think about that movie and some of the first times that I've like watched the film, like when like Randall legitimately is like kind of unsettling as a character.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously because he's like slithering around and stuff on the floor. But then like even in that particular scene where he's just like, oh, he's like low-key a mob boss. But then he gets literally clapped over the head with a bat or like a frying pan. So then I'm just like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. But
a gator, you remember that?
Yeah. Gator got in again, Ma. I was like, oh, that's tough. Dude, so for the longest time, I did not know what the abominable snowman was saying when they first like get there.
Yeah.
And he's like saying like welcome to the Himalayas.
Himalayas.
Yeah, but
He says it weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like so it's not just me.
No.
Okay. For like years,
Yeah.
I never knew what he said.
Yeah.
I was like the heavenly Oz. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
I
never
like
did.
don't even know what that is. And it really wasn't until like, I don't know what it was about some age that you get to where you start having to watch things with captions on them. I don't understand when that happened for me, but then I was like, oh, it's Himalayas. Like, and that literally was maybe like 4 years ago. Yeah. Like you finally
Like
figured out what he
disturbingly
was saying.
recent.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just like, I know a lot of lines in this film, but that is not one of them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't have used context clues to get that from before. Like, from
I think
where they
that
are.
might have been. I think I like was thinking about mountain. Like I think like I had to like grow up and learn about like mountains and stuff. And then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I think that might be what he said. But yeah, not
Yeah.
for you though.
Didn't
you
even
know?
get that far. Went through all of college and finished my education. I still didn't know what he was talking about.
And then the captions told you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward.
Cool.
What do you got?
Next one. So I wanted to talk about The Social Network. We talked about this beforehand. You said you maybe could quote one scene, or you know one
There's
scene.
one scene in like I like the movie.
Yeah.
There's one scene in particular that like where Jesse Eisenberg's character is like in the conference room and they're like asking him, was like, do I have your attention?
Yeah.
And then he does that weird like Jesse Eisenberg monologue thing. So
Yeah.
it's all like, no, you don't have my attention.
You have
like,
the minimum amount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the minimum amount of my attention.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ooh, spicy.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
You literally the entire movie is like in my brain. Like I think there's like something about the way that movie's written. where
That's on
it's
brand
just,
for
like,
you.
Oh, correct. Yeah. It didn't even have to be written well.
Doesn't that just make sense? It
Yeah.
just feels right.
I already knew that when the hard pivot from Pixar to
The Social
Sorkin
Network.
He's
would
like,
have been
so
like
the
a huge
social
pivot.
network.
Yeah.
Sorkin, right?
Yeah, that's Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin, yeah.
I have a couple. So that one and Moneyball, which I didn't like mention because you haven't really seen Moneyball, but like Moneyball is just like all in my brain. My family like quotes it to each other all the time.
That's like a weird pick for you, for at least like seemingly. Like you're like,
it's
you know what's my
Sorkin, it
favorite
fits.
movie?
That
Moneyball.
baseball movie.
Yeah. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, so I played a lot of baseball growing up, so that's why I initially watched it. It was actually
Josh is an athlete. Did you hear that? Josh said, I'm an athlete. I actually played a lot of baseball. growing
it's
up.
not
I was
really a
like,
big
wow.
deal. Like I just like I was like the best in the like year, but it was like fine. Like I don't.
Yeah, in grade 5.
I could show you all the medals. Like I don't. It's not really that big of a deal. This is all false, by the way. I did play baseball, but the rest is completely
He's
false.
like, I have no hardware
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I don't even have a participation trophy.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah, but no. So that was funny enough. That was actually the first PG-13 movie I ever saw was Moneyball.
Wait, what?
The most random, yeah.
That's insane.
It was just like Finding Nemo, and then it's like we're gonna ramp up to just this
Finding
movie
Nemo?
about baseball statistics.
You're a man now, son. We're gonna watch Moneyball with early Chris Pratt.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious to me. That's fantastic. Well done.
Anyway, what's your next one?
Okay, so it's kind of like a duo,
Yeah.
but for me,
Yep.
like the Nacho Libre and Napoleon Dynamite.
They have a
duo.
similar vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like just for the context in which like we have grown up in, where I feel
Yeah.
like Nacho Libre is on at like every different like event or something that we're having. Well, what's the
Correct.
go-to like movie that's just like in the background? Like we're
Yeah.
gonna have like a movie night and Nacho Libre is gonna be on, you
Yeah.
know, like since like high school and
It's
stuff
like
like
safe.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones, and like people are always like, you know, being able to quote it.
Yeah.
And I think particularly that type of comedy and that type of film style is not everybody's cup of tea.
Definitely.
Because it's
Yeah.
like a dumb, funny movie.
It's kind of it's not brainless because there's a certain art to it.
right.
But it's like
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
I do think that there's a level of like, I don't like. There's a good amount of comedies that are like dumb comedies
Yeah.
that like I don't really like. Like slapstick, like it's just stupid and that's why it's funny.
Yeah.
Like isn't always the most engaging for me.
Definitely.
Except for Nacho Libre.
That's the
For
one.
whatever reason,
Yeah.
like that movie lives rent free
Yeah.
in my head.
See, it's funny because I kind of, for whatever reason, Nacho Libre hasn't really crossed over that for me. Like for some reason, it's a little too silly. I don't know if silly is the right word, but I just like.
I mean, it's Jack Black running around in spandex. It doesn't get silly than that. Like, I think it's kind of...
See what it tastes like.
Yeah. I don't want to get picked to lose. I want to win.
Anaconda squeeze.
See, yet I know all of these. Like, I know.
Encarnacion.
I believe in science.
What do you mean you have not been baptized? Growing up as a religious person, bro, like, dude.
Yeah. Dude, I just remembered, like, it's not even a quote, but the bit where he, like, has to take care of someone and he has, like, the weird, like, the little, like, rug and he just has to, like, pull it out.
Oh, yeah, the beginning of that.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's so funny.
Yeah, or when he like has to go perform like the funeral rites on the guy and like puts like the coins over his eyes, and then he kind of just like starts praying. The guy just like takes them off, and he's like,
oh frick, man. Yeah.
And then probably one of the best scenes that like, so it's weird because you can't quote it because there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
But like again, I only communicate in just like memes and gifs.
Yeah.
So like something will happen and in my head I'll think, I don't know, there's no way that I can communicate this verbally. But like in a given situation, I'll just think of Encarnacio eating like the burnt toast. Like, and then you just like, but like they have it, I don't know how they like did the sound design or have it mic'd where it's literally just them sitting next to each other eating burnt toast, and it's like really, really loud. And I'm like, yeah, this scene, like that's whatever the situation is, but like insert that scene right there. Two people awkwardly eating burnt toast, super loud, right next to each other. I'm like, that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Like if I had a way to better communicate my emotions, I would like just have some sort of like screen device with a Rolodex of like just different scenes from movies and be like, so how are you feeling right now about that, Aaron? And I'm just like, look at
This is how you talk to your therapist, right?
literally. And so like, so how does that make you feel? I'm like, okay.
I don't know if you've seen Nacho Libre.
So have you seen Nacho Libre? And there's that one scene, like not the scenes that anybody actually cares about, but like, yeah, that one scene where they're just eating toast next to each other. That's kind of how I feel about it in this moment.
Freaking no, that's like it's the same thing. It's like weird like line deliveries or like it's just like weird like ways they like use their body. Like performers will use their body or like just non-dialogue scenes that just like just right there.
Yeah, and then with the counterpart being Napoleon Dynamite, I feel like that's also how I feel with that because so much of it is not just like, you know, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile, but then like him actually like attempting to like throw, like it's just him setting up a camera and him just like throwing footballs. I was just like that like whole dreary town suburban scene that's there. There's like something really, I don't know, like really interesting about that. Yeah, it's like one of those things where I don't know if you ever felt this with certain movies, but like the way that they're written and shot and like how the characters are performed and stuff seems so static to that period and that place to where like after the movie's over, I'm like, I wonder like what they're doing now because like nothing ever happens in that particular city or that thing or like whatever. And it was just like, that's Napoleon Dynamite sometimes is one of those movies where I'm just so like, it would be so bizarre to like actually live in that town or wherever, like some, you know, suburban spot in middle America. And so I think that like, there's it's the delivery of some of those lines because in and of themselves, like just like Tina, you fat lard, like it's not like dinner doesn't mean anything, but just the fact that he said my favorite is just like Napoleon, give me some tots. He's like, no,
I quote that all the time.
He like kicks him, and so they're like literally like my mom and my dad will quote to each other, just be like, oh, what the heck, idiot.
Dude, so the tots one I'll quote all the time, and then like the one where it's like, do you remember the bit he's like testing the like different milks and he's like, the defect in that one is bleach, and they're like, very good, and he's like, yes.
This one tastes like the cow got into an onion patch. I was just like, bro, what? Dude, the premise of that movie is freaking wild to me.
Because like what even is the like a new kid comes to school, but it's like, because how would you even explain that movie to someone if they haven't seen it? You know what I mean?
That's so true.
Like how?
where like Pedro shaves his head. Yeah. He's like, I was getting really nervous, and then I got really hot. So I shook my head.
So I tried to drink some water.
But it wasn't working. So he just shaves his head.
And he just has the hoodie on and he like draws the strings in.
And then Debbie like gives him the makeover like with the wig or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's perfect.
What is it like when he's taking the photo and he's like, imagine you're surrounded by tiny seahorses.
Yeah.
And it's like, so good.
the Uncle Rico meme or whatever.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, he's like, don't be jealous, Napoleon, just because I'm chatting online with hot babes all day.
All day.
My father literally has that on a T-shirt. I think my mom got it for him because he's a software developer.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was just like, peak.
Yeah.
But that's such a good one, and I think it's one of those. That's one of the ones where like the line delivery in and of itself,
Definitely.
I think is probably what makes the lines.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
Yeah, we should probably move on. Because I could literally do this for like an hour.
Just talking about Nacho Libre.
Yeah. So we could wrap it up in a little bit. My last one is gonna be Lady Bird.
Okay.
Which again,
see, Lady Bird is one of those ones where it's just such a good movie, and it's one of those ones where it's like a visual quote for me. Like I can picture particular scenes of what's happening, like when she just like when the car is in motion and she just like dives out out of the vehicle,
and then to jail, and then back to City College.
And so that's one of those ones where I'm like, oh, I have not watched that movie in quite a bit.
Okay.
So I'd have to watch it again.
I watch it like once a year, so it's like it's firmly like.
I mean, you do have an incredible fascination with Greta Gerwig, so
correct. Yes. It's not a personal one. I just like her films. Don't you know?
It's about the art.
Yeah, dude, that's my favorite like running joke that you have with me, where I like will admire like something very superficial about a woman. I'm like, oh, she has a cool outfit, and you're like, you love her. It's okay.
Yeah. Just say that you think.
Just say that you love her. Yeah.
So like, wow, I really like how she delivered that line. I think she's really getting the character. No, you just think that she has really nice cheekbones. You can say that, Josh. Like that's not wrong to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just appreciate the art for what it is.
Yeah. The art.
You don't got to front,
crazy. But yeah, there's just like a lot of that's like in my brain. Like I feel like the way she like delivers, like it's just like some of the lines are like so sad. Do you remember the bit where she's like, your mom, what did she say? Like, my mom made one bad decision at 19. She's like, 2 bad decisions. And then it cuts to like the birth class or something like that. Freaking great. And then like my family does, we're going to play first one to cry wins. Do you remember that bit?
No, I don't remember.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Michael?
It's been a minute for me too. I don't remember.
Okay. It's basically like the priest like and he's like running the like acting class. They're like doing an acting exercise. He's like, we're gonna play first one to cry wins. I'm playing, so is Mrs. Kinsey or whatever. And like the kids are like trying to like get themselves to cry, and you cut back to him and he's just bawling. It's like one of the best scenes ever.
That's a great exercise. I do remember like the kind of like jump cut style that happens within that movie or whatever that they're doing, and I think that adds to some of the comedic beats that I thought was actually really funny. But
definitely.
And then I kind of forget that Timothy Chalamet's in that movie sometimes.
That was like one of his first where I was like, who's this guy?
It's a throwback.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that Timothy Chalamet was in Interstellar. Do you guys remember that?
That's the wildest thing because I watched that movie.
Bonkers.
Yeah, he's a little
that was
boy.
weird to me. I was just like, that is Tim Chalamet. That's crazy.
Anyway, what's your last one? We doing Chicken Little or?
Yeah, I mean, like honorable mention probably is just going to be Lord of the Rings because I do quote that one.
Yeah,
like a fair amount.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's like a pretty nerdy one. Some people can quote it, some people can't.
I feel like if you talk to Seth, like he would pretty solid.
Yeah, I'll just be like for Gondor, like for sure. Yeah, but Lord of the Rings is one of those ones where you quote it and like you sound like a nerd just because of the nature of some of the things, you know, where I'm just like, fly, you fools. And then, you know,
and then like every line sounds like.
Right.
You can't pass it off as like, this is actually a really cool movie. It's
right.
Like,
It's like, no, this is a nerd movie.
Yeah.
It's a cinematic masterpiece,
it's
mind
incredible.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But it's a nerd movie.
Yeah.
But that is one of my probably like most quotable movies. But my actual most like the movie that I think I literally quote the most that almost nobody recognizes what it's from is Chicken Little.
Yes. You were quoting this to me the other day, which partly gave me the inspiration to ask you about this topic because I just wanted to hear you quote Chicken Little.
That is like, I don't know. I really don't know what it is. Like, as a kid, I saw that movie so many times. And it's like, I was going to say, it's not even that great of a movie, but I'm like, no, that's false. It is a master. It's a cinematic masterpiece. One of the best animated movies I have ever seen in my entire life. Don't at me.
It gives like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a really, like the comedic pace of it is just, there's so many jokes being thrown at you.
Yeah.
And they're like, a lot of them are super good. Like, I just like, it gives like almost like Simpsons, or like, I'm trying to think of like a popular equivalent. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like a lot of stuff stacked on top of each other.
Yeah. Like a Spider-Verse almost, like where there's so many jokes being thrown at you, or like a Lego movie or something like that.
There's like this is a really obscure cut. There's a show that was on for a few seasons, and it's kind of like dumb funny, but like they do it so fast in a way that like you almost don't even recognize how many jokes are constantly being put on. It's called Angie Tribeca. Have you?
Dude, I've been rewatching that again lately. It's so good.
It is hilarious.
It's like what's it called? Like the slapsticky, like not Airplane. What am I trying to think?
No, kind of like Airplane or
Leslie Nielsen. Those movies,
or Rubber or Twisted Gun, or you know the one I'm talking about?
Naked Gun.
Naked Gun.
It's very much in that style. Produced by Steve Carell and his wife.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's kind of like a modern Naked Gun sort of situation. So it's literally like it's just layered on top of each other so much, and then like it's kind of one of those things where like the joke gets funnier because it's not funny, like, and they just keep beating a dead horse, and they keep coming back to it, and then just like, oh my gosh, like okay, like we're like, and so they just keep laying it on top of each other, and some of it's like a gimme, like really easy stuff, or like a series of like essentially dad jokes, but they're kind of just stacked on top of each other so much that you're just like, oh my gosh, and there's another one, and there's another one, and there's another one. On top of like just it has a really great cast and the lines are delivered really well.
What's Rashida Jones?
Yeah, Rashida Jones. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend it. But Chicken Little kind of like has a little bit of that, bringing it back to what's important.
The tangent is
Have you seen Angie Tribeca? So Chicken Little. But yeah, and for whatever reason, like it's like the most literally just like a kid movie.
Yeah.
But like I'll watch it, and maybe it's just the nostalgic aspect of it, but I'll like specifically the scene where he's like trying to explain like that there were UFOs. And he's like, no, but the sky is falling.
He's like not speaking.
Yeah, he's like, big acorn level flow. And like, I say that almost once a week. What
does the dog reporter say after that?
He's like, an egg slinging coleslaw? He's like, what are you saying?
No, like the reporter is like, utter nonsense. What is he?
And the fact that they roast him so hard throughout the whole entire, like when he's playing the baseball, and he's like, you have an itty bitty strike zone, so don't swing. And so then you see him like the ball goes, and then they're like, that's a ball, but then he swings super slow. He's like, strike? Question mark? And the commentator is like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, folks. I've seen roadkill with faster reflexes. I was like, bro, what a play!
I forgot that line.
Like your 8-year-old brain like can't comprehend that. So you can watch it later, and I'm like, yo, that's wild. Some of the commentary in there I think is like really, really funny. Because it's like meta on some of this stuff where they're like, oh, it's time for the celebratory pouring of the spork drink that soaks into your undies and chafes for hours. Like, and I was just
I don't know that one.
I was like, what? Yeah. You know, like after you win a game and they dump like the Gatorade thing on top of them. But like you can watch that at like the level of like an 8-year-old child and love it, but then you can watch it now and be like, oh wait, that's actually like really
there's
funny.
Different, yeah,
there's layers to it.
What was the one that was kind of meta, which I was watching clips of it this week to kind of prep for this? It was literally like, they're like, we're going to be playing dodgeball, and it's like, we're going to separate into 2 groups, popular and not popular.
Separate popular versus unpopular.
Yeah, and then he's like, what is it? He's like, excuse me? He's like, yes, not popular.
He's like, don't you think that these teams are a little unfair? He's like, no, they're not. Hit the pig, kids.
Oh man.
I was like, bruh. Or like when they're doing like the roll call and they're like, Foxy Loxy, and she's like present, pretty, and punctual.
Yeah.
Like that's how she identifies herself as. He was like, Abby, or she's like, ugly duck. I mean, Abby, and then they're like, ugly duckling. But then she like looks at the teacher, and the teacher's like, they have like the dumb like foghorn, like the like that. Yeah, that stupid thing. So it's like those like little bits or whatever that for whatever reason like there's a good amount of like a mix of stupid but like sophisticated delivery.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah. What a great movie. I recommend it to
Go watch Chicken
everybody.
Little. Freaking hilarious.
Go watch Chicken
Everybody
Little.
turn on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard of this.
Just leave me some water, some chips if you have.
The paper bag that he's like blowing into. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude.
Ron, don't let me take away your Streisand collection. No, Mom. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. Like, what child watching this movie is gonna know about a Barbra Streisand?
Yeah.
Like reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think quality. Definitely go watch Chicken Little. You won't be disappointed.
You take nothing else away from this.
The animation is definitely like, wow, this was for sure made in 2005. But then you're just like, but it still holds up.
Yeah. The jokes are incredible.
People
Anyway,
are gonna watch this, gonna be like, it's trash.
Yeah. I don't get why you guys are so excited about this.
Well, that's all for me.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we should probably wrap it up because we are definitely over time.
Yeah,
but,
most likely. Sorry about that.
Michael, what's your favorite quotable movie?
I like straight up. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is like applicable to me all year round. Somehow, it is just always on the forefront of my mind.
And this is the Jim Carrey.
Oh, the Jim Carrey one. The
rendition.
Jim Carrey one, please. Yes, not the Benedict Cumberbatch one. But
I didn't even think that was in the running.
That's my most quotable.
I was talking about the animated one from like the from whatever it was, 1970s or whatever it was.
like every song, it's just it's too in there. Me and Amanda Cornish will literally just go at each other with it. Like we'll just
Amanda
attack
does
each
quote
other
that
with
one.
it.
It's kind of a
Oh
lot.
my gosh.
What's your like favorite quote from it? Do you remember? Of course you remember.
There's so many good ones, but I'm going to throw up and then I'm gonna die. When I'm just upset at anything, I'll just say that.
My favorite is just like the one where he's like singing with them at the end, like out of key.
Yahoo,
Like,
yeehaw.
Or dang it, Michael, what's the one line where he's like going through his schedule and then he's like scheduling like self-loathing and he's like,
Self-loathing, I'm booked.
Yeah, it's like,
But if I move to self-loathing to 9.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah, that one is a really good one.
That's a good one.
All year round, that's true. You can kind of quote the Grinch all year round.
I'm pretty sure my voicemail for the longest time was, if you close as much as one syllable, I'll hunt you down and gut you like a fish. If you'd like to fax me, press the star key. I literally just ripped that like just from the TV.
Just the actual audio.
Yeah.
Wait, but quick deep cut. Michael, do you want to share what your actual voicemail is now?
It's pretty incredible. Play it to the mic.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to. It's unique enough to where, like, I don't know if you say it or if you just.
I don't know. I
jumped
jumped into Isaiah Mustafa, at one point, like the definitive Old Spice guy from like the commercials. It's him, like in a towel, like look at your man, now back to me. No, look at your man, now back to me.
Yeah.
Like the suave Old Spice guy, and I just wrote him a little script at a coffee shop in L.A. And then it was
That's
just like,
actually him?
Literally, I just bumped into him and I was just like, hey, dude, like, I'm a fan. Like, loved you on the Crow Show. Obviously love your Old Spice commercials.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I was just like, can you just like be the guy on my voicemail?
Yeah.
And he was just like, the voicemail is, you've reached the second most important person in the universe. Next to me, of course. Please leave your message for Michael after the beep. And it was just like, spur of the moment, but like it's him meeting with some woman and I'm writing the script while he's talking to her.
Yeah. So we're gonna give Michael's personal phone number, and then you can call him
and hear that voice
to get a voicemail, and then you too can listen to.
It's hard to tell if that would be different from the number of spam calls I already got. It's already.
I guess
I will never know. So honestly, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I guess we can wrap up this podcast then.
I think we can.
But yeah, thank you for going on this little journey with us. Let us know if you have like a favorite quotable movie that you like quote with your family or friends, because we love to hear about all that. I think I said in the last episode, like, I really love to read the comments.
Yeah, put in the comments.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks again, Eron, for coming through. We'll probably never have you back.
Most likely not. This was a terrible experience, but But thank you. Oh my gosh, wow. So fun.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. And give us a like, give us a follow, because that definitely does boost us up in the algorithm, give us to more people. And
Boost Josh's emotional self-esteem.
yeah, it's like self-respect, probably. Yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah, give us a like for self-respect. My self-respect, not like Michael's or Aaron's. You guys are secure?
Yeah, we're emotionally healthy.
Deeply not, but I pass it off pretty well.
Well, favorite and follow anyway.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, thanks guys. Bye.
See ya.